can't add a barn. You have a lot of limitations and loss of value. Zoning. Most of the zoning now is either mixed multi-use or it's open space. And again, mixed multi-use, and the definition of a sustainable development is, in this is SB 375, minimum of 20 units per acre. What you'll find is that the developers are getting waivers, the environmental waivers. They don't have to do any greenhouse gas analysis for GHGs for light trucks and cars. They get bonuses for higher densities and lower incomes, and because a lot of it is low income housing, subsidized. And I'm not faulting the developers. If you're a developer and you're being given $100 million and you're set and waivers and bonuses and basically being told this is what we want you to build, or you could try to build this other thing, the single family residential neighborhood that you want to build, but we're going to have the Greenbelt Alliance come sue you, the EPA regulations, you're not going to get any waivers, you're not going to get bonuses, so which would you like to do? So it becomes a situation where, you know, we're being forced down this path. Also, development fees. Development fees are being used to either waived if they want a certain type of development, or used as a hammer to stop development, like single family residential homes. Habitat plans, all of these things are used to regulate our land and our use of our land. You guys may have heard of the travel management program. The travel management program is going on, and it limits the access to our open space, our government land, BLM land, our recreational areas, our ATV access. All of these things are happening. Roads are being closed, not just closed, but destroyed all across the nation. This road is actually in Prescott, Arizona. They didn't just close the roads, they destroyed it. They chopped down trees. This isn't environmentally better. And it's a hazard, because what happens when there's a fire? You can't even get into these roads. Again, this is all about rewilding and taking back the land and returning it to wilderness. That's along those same lines as the dam removal. So this is a perfectly good clean energy source, but they want to remove this dam. They want to remove the dams up in Siskiyou and Klamath area. This is what it looks like to remove a dam, to breach a dam. It destroys all other wildlife and irrigation for crops, irrigation for cattle, anything downstream. This, I forgot my, anyway, this is not environmentally better. You know, the coho salmon was the excuse. We're going to save the idea was we're going to save the coho salmon, and then we need to rewild them, let them be free. Okay, so now we've killed everything else for one species. I mean, that's basically what happens, is they choose a species, and then everything else is killed off. This is a wildlife corridor map of California, and as I said before, anything that's not in the sustainable community strategy, can you stand up and help me? I just want to show people this map, because I had it blown up. Here, hold the bottom. I had it blown up, and you can see it up here too, but you can see it better in person. And it's got the Department of Transportation, Caltrans, and Department of Fish and Game. This is a government map. This is part of a 313-page document. And thanks. You can come look at it in a minute. But what this is showing us is the California Essential Habitat Corridor System. So you want to think 3 C's: core, corridor, and carnivore. Now the core areas are the green areas. 76% of California is already owned in some form or fashion and controlled by our government through BLM, Forest Service, whatever. That's the green areas. The yellow and red areas are the areas that are not owned by our government, but must be taken in some way in order to create this map. To complete this map and create the corridor system, those areas must be taken in some form or fashion, either through control of easements, whatever. This is part of a 313-page document on the Department of Fish and Game site. It calls for the destruction of roads, dams, whatever is in the path of this corridor system, all in the name of creating a wildlife corridor system. So this is core, and the core then, cores are connected through corridors, that's the yellow and red areas, and then they introduce carnivores like bears and wolves. And where the bear and wolf goes, your property rights go away. This is a government map. I've taken it, this is part of AB 2785. This map is required to be used by all metropolitan planning organizations. It's required to be used by Caltrans, all county transportation authorities, COGS. They all know about this map. In their planning, they're supposed to be using this map when they reserve land, when they create priority conservation areas. Why don't we know about this map? There's also a legend up here that shows that in terms of cost, less cost to more cost, the more yellow it is, the less cost it will be, and the more red it is, the more cost it will be. In terms of taking that land and reserving it as a corridor. I mean, the final thing is, ultimately they want our guns. We've got the UN Small Arms Treaty, we've got the Law of the Sea Treaty. I mean, the UN is getting more and more involved in our country. So I'm very concerned. This is what Agenda 21 is all about, the redistribution of wealth of the American public. And I thank you for inviting me.
Questions here, not too many, she's got to get back, okay. But also make sure it's a question, not a statement. Question. So if you're going to say something, make sure it's formulated into a question, or we'll stop you.
Oh, I want to say something. Go ahead. What can we do?
Well, get involved. I mean, the thing is that education is the first step. Telling your friends, it's a vast topic. I would start with this map, okay? I would start with this map because this map to me is easy to explain to people. I would go to that site, DFG site. I would get this map. I blew it up. This is what I did. I blew it up and I take it everywhere and I show people because this is Caltrans, Department of Transportation, and the Department of Fish and Game map. This is not me making this up. This is their map. Read the document. It's 313 pages, and it doesn't mention private property rights once. It's all about the taking of people's land in order to create this corridor system for animals. But again, it's not about the animals. It's that land is being set aside for the carbon credit trading scheme. We're just being told it's about creating overpasses and underpasses for animals so they can roam free, as if they know how to find an overpass or an underpass.
Is there any organized opposition to Agenda 21 that we can kind of hang on to?
Well, there's all kinds of groups that are fighting it. My group is fighting it. You can go to citizenstownhall.org. I have citizenstownhall.org, and it's a nonpartisan site. I work with anybody. I don't care. I've got people in the Sierra Club that work with me, because in California there is no right and left. It's all right and wrong. That's it. Yeah. We're down to we need to lock arms and start fighting because we're all going to lose our property rights. And if we don't have property rights, we're not going to have any freedoms. So I don't care who it is. I'm really, really trying to, we may not agree on everything, and that's okay. I fight right along with people who, have different belief sets for a lot of, who are okay with affordable, low-income housing and in their backyard or whatever, but they don't want to be told how their town should grow. It's all about local control. I mean, it's about choice. It's about freedom. It's about America. It's about, having the ability to make your own decisions and not having this jammed down your throat. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Right. Are the sheriffs able to, I know the sheriffs are banded together. Are they able to go against, like, taking dams out of Klamath?
Well, the sheriffs have a lot of power, and they are the last, they are the only elected, truly elected by the people position, and they have a lot of power. They can stop some of this stuff. And a lot of the sheriffs of the northern part of the state, are doing that, and that's good. I mean, that's what we want,
What do you think their plans are for open spaces? Now, right now, we hear a lot about how they want to preserve ag land. The environmentalists want to, and all these sustainable plans want to preserve our ag land. What do you think their true plans are for our ag land?
Well, it's to use it in the carbon credit trading scheme. It's to get you off of your land and whatever way they can. I mean, they're gonna regulate you off of your land. If they can't, now, maybe 5 years from now, but eventually you won't be able to do anything on your land because everything is gonna require some type of permit, and you can barely do anything to your land now. So, it's just a process, or they'll get conservation easements or whatever. I mean, I have a guy who owns 2,700 acres in Madera County, and he wanted to build single-family residential neighborhood, and he's owned it since the 80s, paid taxes, and he's being told that the only way he'll get development rights is to give up 2/3 of his property. I'm not kidding. And they wanted to sign an endowment. They're not gonna force him to give it up. But they're just not gonna give him development rights unless he signs over an endowment, giving up 2/3 of his property, and that endowment then gives that property, puts it into a land trust, okay, with the Sierra Club or something like that. And then they want him also to pay for a maintenance of that property in perpetuity. He's already been sued a bunch of times. He wants to develop this, and he's like, he doesn't know what else to do. I mean, if he doesn't do what they're asking, he's not gonna get the development right. It's a very difficult situation, but it will look like he just wanted to donate all that land. Most developers, most people who own their property aren't looking to, give up a large portion of it, for just any reason. And what I told him is, why don't you create a foundation and create your own land bank? But I don't know that can be done. I don't think that can be done. I haven't heard that could be done by just an individual, because that would be a path to explore. But it's a very sad situation, and this is happening over and over again.
Do you have the PowerPoint available for public or on the website that we can?
You know what, email me, and I will give you the PowerPoint presentation. I don't hold anything back. I really don't care, I just will share it with anybody, because it's not, I don't think we have a lot of time to try to turn this around. And in California, we're especially far down the path, I hope that we can turn it around, or at least help others to turn their state around. So, okay, yes.
This Agenda 21 is the blueprint for our local reps to run this town here. Maximum density housing and narrow streets, everything. It's right, when I first read that, this is exactly the route this city is taking. Now, you said they did away with the RDA funds, and then is there local access now through the?
No. The redevelopment funds were taken away from the local cities and towns, and so now what's happening is they've starved the local cities and towns from their tax funds and whatever. They've turned them into beggars. I mean, basically that's what it is our local city council. In order to get money, they have to go along with these plans, or they're either going to get sued or they're not going to get the transportation funds. Even the county transportation authority is now withholding. We voted for a 50-cent sales tax to fix our roads, only to have them get it, and now they're withholding it unless we build more of this stuff. It's just becoming a vicious cycle. We need local control. I don't know. We need to get rid of our cogs. We need to get rid of the regional unelected levels of that aren't real government. That's not real government. We need to get out of those cogs and bring the control back. Our cogs are voluntary. These are not statutorily created. The transit authority, the Metropolitan Transit Authorities are, but the ABAG Association, SCAG, those are all voluntary, dues paid. The county, the cities pay dues based on the size of the population. But we need to start there. I mean, they're already openly saying there are too many cities and counties. We need to get rid of the boundaries and borders, and we need to just manage everything at the regional level. They're openly saying that, which should be very chilling to everyone who is an elected official, because that's what's happening. So, we're so far down the road in California, and we don't have any way to stop it at the state level. The way we're going to stop it in California is to wake up our fellow citizens, to communicate with our cities and counties, and to support our city council people and our local elected officials in fighting back. That's how we're going to stop this. We're not going to stop this from the top down. And the people that are on those boards and bodies and commissions are very powerful now, so they're not gonna wanna give up these positions. Our regional plan isn't going to be adopted until June, and we're trying to fight it and as hard as we can.
Where do judges in California tend to be? You're just all over the place, or what happens if lawsuits come before them? Do they?
They
Well-
dismiss them, they don't have standing.
Yeah, I mean,
All
it's
kinds
very
of little
difficult.
things.
I mean, you gotta get the cities to stand up and have standing. The people virtually have no control other than in the court of public opinion. I mean, that's why we're really trying to raise the awareness. In my town in Danville, I have 42,000 people. We've taken out full page ads. We've flyered our neighborhood. We've done 2 town halls. We're doing another one tomorrow night. My goal is to make everyone in my town, everyone, know what's going on and have an opinion either way, you know, whether they want it or not, but everybody should know what's happening. And that's really what we need to do. So I encourage you to just get involved at your local level, but support your local cities and counties. Don't assume that these people know what's going on and that they're part of this. Many of them don't know because we didn't know. We're not meant to know. This is happening, and until you step back and you see that how the dots are connected and how these bills relate to one another, the picture doesn't form. So go talk to these people, ask them to have coffee, explain what's happening and your concerns, and get them involved, because you know that's the only way we're going to be able to fight back and then support them. Thank you.